Let's savor these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Connect with local leaders, philanthropists, and more. The Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce presents the 2022 Leadership Breakfast. Join the Chamber for a morning of insight with guest speaker Laura Graneman, with the whole event emceed by Fox 2 News anchor Roop Raj. Join your local businesses at the Wabeat Country Club September 13th at 8:30 a.m. Order your tickets by September 6th at westbloomfieldchamber.com/breakfast. We'll see you there.
Let's whoop it up for these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the cheering going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's relish these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine. I'm feeling good.
Let's savor these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Connect with local leaders, philanthropists, and more. The Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce presents the 2022 Leadership Breakfast. Join the Chamber for a morning of insight with guest speaker Laura Graneman, with the whole event emceed by Fox 2 News anchor Roop Raj. Join your local businesses at the Wabeat Country Club September 13th at 8:30 a.m. Order your tickets by September 6th at westbloomfieldchamber.com/breakfast. We'll see you there.
You're listening to your radio homes for the Megacast 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake and 88.1 WBFH Bloomfield Hills. Today's Megacast begins now. Welcome to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe, welcoming you to our live, local, 5 days a week TV, radio, and streaming show looking into all things Michigan. Today, we'll be talking to a number of individuals on topics of importance and interest to people like you right here in the Great Lakes State. Let's get into today's headlines, making news on our website at civiccentertv.com on our local news page. Our top story today is from Miriam Marini at the Detroit Free Press. 133,000 people will remain under a boil water advisory for at least 2 weeks as repairs begin on a broken water main. 7 communities remain under a boil water advisory after a water main break that occurred over the weekend in Port Huron. Crews have been on site and are working to repair the main, but will likely take upwards of 2 weeks to make those repairs in full. The affected communities still remaining under a boil water advisory at this time are Almont, Bruce Township, Birchville Township, Imlay City, Rochester in Oakland County, Shelby Township, and Washington Township. Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle visited the site of the break in Port Huron on Monday and said, quote, listening to the engineers and people who understand their craft, you know that they're on it. You know that they're trying to figure out how to expedite the solution, a solution that's certain. I'm very confident that they're doing what they need to do to make that happen, and closed quote. GLEWA, the Great Lakes Water Authority, or GLWA, has posted an FAQ, frequently asked questions, to answer common questions for those affected by the water main break. More of those details can be found on GLEWA's website. Just search the Great Lakes Water Authority on your web browser. Also making headlines today on our local news page from Matthew Farr at the Oakland Press. A very fun story here. A singing bus driver has created a Waterford recruitment video. Lynette Bright is not your usual school bus driver. Not only is she inviting your kids on the bus for a safe, enjoyable ride to and from school, she is looking for you to join her team with the Waterford bus driving crew. Transportation Supervisor Tammy Layton went to her boisterous colleague asking her to make a recruitment video with a catchy tune. Here's what Lynette came up with.
The bus yard where magic happens every day. This is the bus yard. Come work with me. Apply today. Bus driver, bus aides, other positions too. Waterford Schools has a job that could be right for you. Bus driving, we get the kids to school each morning and night. Paid training will get you on your way morning, noon, and night. It's fun for a mom whose kids are in school. These hours may work, they may work for you. High school, middle school, elementary, preschool. Transportation has a route that could be right for you. That could be right for you. Just get online and apply. It's easy, get online and apply. Apply today. Questions? Operator standing by. It's easy to apply. Oh, just get online and apply.
Fun stuff happening out of Waterford. Very fun there. You can watch that video from that article on the Oakland Press. Just go to our website at civiccentertv.com on our local news page. Also making headlines on our local news page there from Isabel Lohman at Bridge, Michigan. Michigan's teacher retirements are appearing level despite a fear of a huge exodus. There won't be fewer teachers most likely in your kids' classroom this fall, but there still may not be as many as usual. Fewer retirements are happening statewide in the teaching profession despite mass exoduses that happened during the pandemic. In some cases, though, the news is not so negative. It's actually pretty good. Employment levels in schools are on the rise. For example, Detroit had just 12% of its schools fully staffed, according to this article, in 2017. And today, they say they are fully staffed for the 2022-2023 school year. That's not the case everywhere, with districts such as East Point still looking for upwards of 20 teachers and Grand Rapids for about 100, as well as 200 support staffers. That being said, the outlook is at least somewhat better than during the thick of the pandemic. Finally, making headlines on our local news page from the sports team at the Detroit News, both Michigan and Michigan State have landed in the Associated Press's preseason top 25 poll for college football. College football is just days away from kickoff, and both my Spartans and those pesky Wolverines are ranked in the AP preseason top 25. The defending Big Ten champion Wolverines, as I puke in my mouth, are ranked 8th in the country, with the Spartans ranked at number 15. Talk coming. Some critics don't entirely agree with R.J. Young of Fox Sports nationally, ranking the Spartans in the top 10 and leaving Michigan out of the top 25 entirely. Look, I'm as big of an MSU guy as you'll find, but that is egregious. A competitive season surely is ahead for both of our beloved teams here in the state of Michigan. The University of Michigan kicks off its season on September 3rd at noon against Colorado State, and the far superior Michigan State Spartans face off against the Western Michigan Broncos on September 2nd under the lights at 7 p.m. Find all those headlines on our website at civiccentertv.com, as well as those ever helpful links to accurate and up-to-date information on COVID-19 from the MDHHS, the Oakland County Health Division, and federally from the CDC. Plenty of fun coming up on today's edition of the Megacast on this Tuesday. Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll talk conservation with doctoral student Ryan Rutherford from Michigan Tech. This is the Megacast.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe, welcoming you back to our live, local, 5 days a week TV, radio, and streaming show about all things Michigan. Joining us now on the Megacast is Ryan Rutherford, a doctoral student at Michigan Tech University. Now, usually you have to go to the western side of the country to find cacti in a variety of places, but you don't have to do that anymore. You can find it right here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And he joins us now on the program, Ryan Rutherford from Michigan Tech, to talk about his discovery in Michigan's Huron Mountains. Ryan, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So first, just briefly, tell us a little bit about your doctoral student at Michigan Tech. What are you studying there, and what is your area of interest?
So I'm studying a really unique community called granite bedrock glade. So picture a big exposure of granite bedrock. So a mountainside, if you will, if that's what conjures up in your imagination, with some stunted trees and shrubs and grasses. And that's kind of the community that we're talking about. So there's not very many places like that in Michigan. So you guys are all in Lower Michigan, where there really isn't any. But up in northern Marquette County, there are some exposures like that. And as you said, a landscape more similar to what would occur out west. And in a couple places there are cacti. So there was one species known, a very small one with pads that are only about 2 inches long, that was found in northern Marquette County in the Huron Mountains decades ago. And then this discovery was another species that is the closest spot is on sand dunes in southwestern Lower Michigan. So it's quite a jump from the previously known population.
So it's interesting because when you think about cacti, you think about the West, you think about Arizona, you think about California, New Mexico, those areas, you think about those kinds of arid desert-like climates. And in Michigan, especially in the UP, and especially up in the hills and the mountains of the Upper Peninsula, you think, okay, it's going to be really cold a lot of the year. It's going to be snowy a lot of the year. Is that an environment that these particular cacti are able to grow in, or is this something that's just a really out of left field occurrence here in Michigan?
So ironically, there's only one state that doesn't have cacti, and that's Maine. So there actually is a kind of cacti that is found in the eastern U.S. It's called the eastern prickly pear. It's in most eastern states. And so I think there people make and think about climate is you can have climate on a different scale. So you can have regional climates. So obviously in the Southwest, you have less rainfall, you have higher air temperatures throughout the year. But even in places that have, a moisture climate, you can have dry microclimates. So just, walk out on a blacktop during a hot summer day. It's going to be a lot hotter there, right, than it would be in a shaded forest next door. So you have natural communities that kind of mimic that microclimate effect, if you will. So you can have a climate on these rocks. I have data loggers out there that actually record the ground surface temperature. So I've recorded temperatures of over 130 degrees Fahrenheit on the rock surface where this cactus is growing, and that's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than in the forest right next door. So you have these very strong microclimate effects that kind of creates or mimics the conditions that are found in deserts of the Southwest. And in these little patches, we have a set of species that they're also very different from the surrounding forest, and that's kind of what I'm studying. So there's actually a lizard. You don't typically think lizards with UP either, but they're also in the same habitat, along with several insects that normally occur much further south.
So in the state of Michigan, we know that we have quite a significant collection of bedrock and of things like granite, and in the past we've had, of course, many other forms of rock and sediment that have been found in Michigan. They're common in other places, but how does that impact then the occurrence of these more rare sort of species and animal life and their interactions then with the world around them? Because on those rocks, as you said, you can have temperatures and a climate that is much different than in the forest right adjacent to it. Do they interact with those environments, and how does that impact them?
Well, with some of them, they can disperse. So some of the insects can fly. The skink has little legs, so they can probably go between patches of this habitat. But others, like the cacti, probably don't. They're probably not moving. So the other question that people have is, well, how the heck did they get there? And while any individual patch, you can't really know for sure how it got there. The general idea that we have all these species that we call southern disjunct. So they're species that would normally occur further south, but then have jumped much further north than they would normally occur. And this probably happened post Wisconsin glaciation. So as many educated viewers might know, this whole area was covered by glaciers 9 or 10,000 years ago, and those glaciers left, which kind of left this blank slate for our current ecosystems to develop. All our forests and prairies and savannas, all the species that comprise them came after that Wisconsin glaciation. But what a lot of people don't know is there's actually a period 4,000 to 6,000 years ago that was warmer than today, called the Hypsothermal period, which allowed species that would normally occur not much further south to go all the way up north, north of Lake Superior even, and that's how we think a lot of these species got here. And then as the climate cooled off, they were kind of left in these little island-like bubbles where the climate was warmer than the habitat around them. And that's why I'm studying it, because it's a really cool habitat. And with climate change, some of these species might be able to expand beyond these bubbles. But right now they're isolated. And while they're isolated, they're facing other threats, such as just disturbance on these rock outcrops, because there's probably only a few hundred acres of this habitat in existence in Michigan, and it has a set of species that's unlike anywhere else.
We're joined by Ryan Rutherford. He's a doctoral student at Michigan Technological University, joining us on the Michigan on the Megacast. And Ryan, so how did you come to find this eastern prickly pear in the Huron Mountains? Were you tipped off to it? Did you just happenstance find it? What happened?
Yeah, so I as I mentioned, I've been studying this habitat, which really no one else is studying. And I was giving a talk in Marquette for a conservation district meeting last December, and a fellow was talking to me afterwards and mentioned something about a cactus population north of Marquette that wasn't near where the known one that I had mentioned, that fragile prickly pear, was. And then so I got in touch with this person who I had supposedly encountered it, and I didn't think a whole lot of it at the time. I didn't really have any real evidence to go by, but then I was given kind of a fuzzy picture that did appear to be a cactus, but I didn't know exactly where it was. I kind of had I was given a kind of a general description of the area. And then so I got out some maps and kind of looked where these bedrock glades might be. So I found kind of a high ridge on the maps, and I decided to kind of follow it along the stream. Most of that ridge was forested, but it did kind of pop up and out into this small open rock outcrop, and there was this cactus in full bloom, eastern prickly pear. So in an instant, I knew what the species was, and that it was the first occurrence of this species in the UP, and it was just really exciting.
So what further research are you looking forward to doing on this species in Michigan, and the potential for there maybe being more of it in other granite bedrock throughout the state?
Yeah, so I mean, this was actually kind of a side adventure to my original project. It certainly wasn't one of my particular study sites, but it just kind of what it tells me is more of these glades should actually be surveyed. So a lot of them are kind of on private land. There's a real patchwork of state and private land in this area, and a lot of sites haven't been visited by biologists and ecologists. And yeah, it is really amazing the stuff that occurs there. So I have these large traps called malaise traps that trap insects. I'm studying the insects there. I actually did my master's work on the lichens on the rock, which are also extremely fascinating, are best indicators of microclimate. So the whole community is super interesting, and there's undoubtedly more to discover there.
We're joined by Ryan Rutherford. He is a doctoral student at Michigan Technological University, or Michigan Tech, joining us on the MegaCast. You can read an article on this. It's pretty extensive from MLive. It is subscriber exclusive, however, so if you do go to MLive and read this story, we highly encourage you to subscribe to this publication, support journalism on the local level, and then you'll be able to find more information on Ryan's discovery and research, better yet, in the Huron Mountains in the Upper Peninsula. Ryan, just a few more minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. I want to talk to you more about your primary area of research, where you're at in your studies, and what you're hoping to do in the near future, and what's your next project here in Michigan.
All right, well, I have a whole bunch. So I also operate a biological consulting firm called Biophilia LLC, and I do survey and inventory work throughout this region: Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. I do surveys for plants, insects, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and lichens. So I may well continue that, but I went back to school because I'm also interested in teaching as well as doing research. So that's where I hope to go with my degree after I'm done. I have a couple years left in my program at Michigan Tech. So yeah, I'd like to incorporate several elements. I certainly love getting out in the field and teaching people about nature. This is a testament to just, not everything is discovered yet. I mean, this is right here in our home state of Michigan, and also the fact that there's a lot that we can do for conservation. So a lot of our conservation challenges seem a little bit daunting and overwhelming, but the conservation of these bedrock glades, if we can protect them, we might be ensuring that a lot of the diversity that we have persists into the future, because these are species that can survive in a warmer climate. There's a lot of doomsday scenarios, if the temperature goes up by 2 to 4 degrees, all that is going to happen. Well, some of these species might be able to survive that. So conserving these little bubbles, I think, is important for future ecosystems.
Ryan, appreciate having you on. Anything else we haven't discussed today you'd like to say, or other information about your findings with the eastern prickly pear in the Huron Mountains?
Yeah, gosh, I think I've ran through it pretty quick. Yeah, if you have any more specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I'm really fascinated with this aspect of climate. I do have these temperature data loggers in these glades inside of them, and then the periphery, and then the surrounding forests. And I'm kind of looking at all those environments and just how they respond to temperature. So it's really fascinating to me. It's an area of ecology people really aren't thinking about right now, and I just think it's exciting. And there's a lot out there to be discovered yet. So,
Ryan, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks.
We'll take a break on the MegaCast on the other side as we get our kids ready for school. Some families, of course, this time of year have a much greater struggle getting their kids back into the classroom with all the necessities that we'll need. We'll talk to an organization that's helping to bridge some of those gaps next on the MegaCast.
Connect with local leaders, philanthropists, and more. The Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce presents the 2022 Leadership Breakfast. Join the Chamber for a morning of insight with guest speaker Laura Graneman, with the whole event emceed by Fox 2 News anchor Roop Raj. Join your local businesses at the Wabeat Country Club September 13th at 8:30 a.m. Order your tickets by September 6th at westbloomfieldchamber.com/breakfast. We'll see you there.
Let's whoop it up for these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the cheering going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe, welcoming you back to our live local 5 days a week look into all things Michigan. You can find more information on our program and find all of our shows on demand by visiting civiccentertv.com/megacast or by going to our co-flagship's website, My Michigan TV's website, mymitv.com, mymitv.com for more information. Find us on demand, find us live on MyMy as well, and more information on where you can download their free apps for your smart TVs and your smartphones. You'll always be able to have the Megacast with you live and on demand on your smartphone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for free with the My Michigan TV app. Joining us now on the Megacast is Jeffrey Miles. He is the Senior Director of Economic Mobility and Social Navigation with the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. Jeffrey, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Appreciate having you on. For those that may not be familiar with the United Way for Southeastern Michigan, tell us a little bit about your organization and the people that it serves here in this area of the state.
Yeah, absolutely. We are a multi-county agency really focused on helping connect families to the supports and services that they need. We run the 211 helpline. So if you have any issues, you can always dial 211, get connected to one of our care advocates. We do a lot in utility assistance, early childhood, as we're here to talk a little bit about today, and many others. But it's been great to be a part of this organization and see the impact that we've had, especially through COVID, where we were able to mobilize, over $30 million to get into the community to help families when they needed it most.
We talk so often about, especially at the holidays, that expenses for families go up so much and become a bit of a struggle, particularly for families that are trying to get by with the necessities, but also fulfill some of the more social obligations of those times of the year. And that similarly goes for the school year, but it actually is adding more necessities to the plate as they're getting their kids ready to go back to school. Not only is there a need for replenishing school supplies, but for these parents also, their kids aren't going to be home all day and not going to be at school all day either. They need to arrange for childcare. There are some programs, particularly in Wayne County, through the United Way of Southeastern Michigan, that help to bridge some of these financial gaps for families that may be affected. Can you tell us about Connect for Care Kids and how this can help families in Wayne County?
Yeah, and the programs that we're talking about really are available statewide. So they are not just in Wayne County, but Early Head Start, and GSRP, the Great Start Readiness Program, which is the state's 4-year-old program, are statewide offerings. But what we've been able to do in Wayne County, which really started with the city of Detroit in a partnership with the mayor's office, was develop a platform that brings all of the information that a parent needs to make an informed choice about their child's care into one spot. And so connectforcarekids.org allows you to find local child care providers near work or home or wherever you want to seek care. Answer a few simple questions to help determine which is the best fit given the age of the child, your income, some other factors. So you really know what you should be looking for. And then we help you get connected to providers directly. And so while we're not an enrollment system, we do get you connected to providers directly in Wayne County. They'll reach out in a matter of days to complete the enrollment process, answer any questions you may have. We also send you all of the providers' contact information. So if you want to reach out directly, you can contact them on your own time, but you've got all of that information really for the first time in one spot.
So typically, who qualifies for these sorts of programs? Is this open to really any parents and any families, or is it to certain families that are particularly in need of assistance and support with these sorts of services?
These programs are open to more families than ever. The governor has really taken great strides to expand the 4-year-old program. Again, that's the Great Start to Readiness program, adding thousands and thousands of seats across the state. The state has also increased the eligibility on the state subsidy. So if you do want to engage with a private pay provider, that eligibility based on income has gone up to 185% of the federal poverty level. And Head Start is around 100% of the federal poverty level. But the great news is you don't have to keep any of those numbers in your head. Connect for Care Kids does all the math for you. And so we'll ask you a couple of questions about your family size, income, and then again, spit out the answer of which of those programs is likely the best fit for you. So really trying to take the guessing out of it for parents.
And it's important to have these interventions too, because your child needs to have childcare after school. If you are still at work and there's not another guardian, a person in your family, a trusted adult that's able to supervise your kids, but also on top of it, these childcare facilities and childcare programs, particularly for after school, have important impacts on a child's development also.
Yeah, there's no greater time to start a child's education than from day one. And honestly, before that, prenatal care is absolutely critical. And so we got ways to connect folks to that as well. But, 90% of a child's brain is developed by the time they're 3. And so getting connected to these interventions and really early childhood education as quickly as possible, as early as possible, is a great predictor of long-term health and success. More likely to graduate high school, be employed, have better overall health, and just have a better chance to thrive.
So what is the cost benefit analysis sort of for these programs for families? Because on the one hand, they can work with people in their family or maybe some friends, maybe some neighbors to arrange for childcare afterward, or they can go to these facilities and these organizations that specialize in this, which tend to be a little bit more costly. So in balancing that out and trying to not go beyond the capacity of your pocketbook to provide this critical care for your kids during the school year, and especially or even outside of the school year when you're just in your general work life, what is the benefit of investing and putting your kids in one of these programs through some of the interventions provided through the United Way of Southeastern Michigan?
Yeah, for a family of 4 in Michigan, childcare is the #1 expense. When you look at technology, healthcare, transportation, food, childcare is the #1 expense. It's about $1,100 a month to put an infant in care. about $700 a month for a 4-year-old. And so when you get connected to one of these no or low cost programs, a family could be looking at cost savings in the neighborhood of about $10,000 a year.
And that's significant.
Pretty big savings. So that's why we want to get as many people connected to these programs as early as possible.
In the past couple of years in particular, during the pandemic, these programs have been available for a while, well before the pandemic began, but how much more have these programs been tapped into, or at least how much more traffic has there been to the United Way for Southeastern Michigan to assist in finding these resources over the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's the pandemic has really shown a spotlight on the need for this essential service and this type of care. And so when we first started this, we connected about 400 families in that first year of the pandemic. We're now averaging about 1,000 families a year getting connected to a provider, and that's just in Wayne County. We do hope to expand to Oakland and Macomb, recognizing just the massive amount of need out there. I'm a father of 2 young children myself, 2 and 4. And so I know the struggle personally, and I'm in the field, right? And so, a lot of information lives across different sites, and it's really critical for families to be able to go to one spot to find out, what is that best option. And that's what we've tried to do here. And again, the state has taken great strides to expand, again, the number of seats, increasing that eligibility. So we urge everybody to check. If you didn't think you were eligible previously, you may be eligible now. And we really urge you to get onto the site and check that out.
UnitedWaySEM.org is their website. That's UnitedWaySEM.org for more information. You just scroll over their resources link and click on early childhood resources, and it will get you in contact with the Connect for Care Kids program through the United Way of Southeastern Michigan. Joining us on the Megacast is Jeff Miles. He's the Senior Director of Economic Mobility and Social Navigation for the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. Joining us on the Megacast. We talk about cost to the families, and we talked and you mentioned a few times statewide interventions to help kind of curb some of those costs. What is available to families that are looking for childcare, are in need of childcare, but may need some of those cost savings interventions from the state? Who are those programs available to?
Yeah, no, there's early Head Start and Head Start, and those go from 0 to 3. The Great Starts Readiness Program is for 4-year-olds. And then the state subsidy is really for children of any age up to 12. So if you are looking for that out of school time or other types of care, you have a provider that is not part of Head Start or the GSRP program. As long as they accept that subsidy, you can apply for that benefit and help defray some of the cost of your care at a private provider as well. So these are long-standing programs. There's lots of research behind their effectiveness and the great start that it really will give children. So again, we have information on all of those programs on the site. You can go to connectforcarekids.org, and there's a whole FAQ section, descriptions of all of these programs so you can learn more. And again, get connected directly to those providers that you are interested in and learning more about. We also have a great section there of about 50 questions you should ask a provider before you really enroll your child. And so what are their health and safety practices? What kinds of learning and developmental activities are they doing? And so we just really want to make sure that parents are going into these conversations with all of the information they should have.
We're joined by Jeff Miles from the United Way for Southeastern Michigan on the Megacast, talking about the Connect for Care Kids program through the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. More information can be found on UnitedWaySEM.org. That's UnitedWaySEM.org. Of course, the United Way is supported through generous donations from the public as well as people's time. If there are ways that people can support the Connect for Care Kids program through the United Way for Southeastern Michigan and help support some of their neighbors in their local area, in their town, in their county, and even in neighboring areas here in Southeastern Michigan that your organization supports.
Yeah, help us spread the word. And that is critical. If you know anyone that's got a young child, now is the time to really be thinking about what you're doing in the fall. It's right around the corner. So we really need everyone to be thinking about that. If your friends, neighbors, aunts, uncles, cousins, anybody that's got a child that is 0 to 5, this program can really help you find that care. You can also text KIDS or kids to 42273. So if you don't have access to a computer, you just need something to remember to give them, you can text kids to 42273 and get started right from your cell phone via your texting app.
Well, Jeff, we appreciate having you on the program and all the information about this program through the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. It's important that families have access to these resources and know what resources are available in their community, especially as we're heading back into the school year. And that adds so many more impacts and expenses to the family's pocketbooks. Anything else for us on the Connect for Care Kids program or other programs going on or soon to be ongoing through the United Way for Southeastern Michigan?
Families across the state can go to greatstarttoquality.org. It has a lot of the same information. We use the data from that state system to inform ours. So anyone can go to greatstarttoquality.org, but connectforcarekids.org does have a bunch of other resources, including access to developmental screens, literacy interventions, and a variety of other resources. And it's the time to make a plan and make a backup plan. You know, we have no idea what's going to be happening with the pandemic moving forward. And so just really appreciate you having us on to help get the word out and help families connect to this vital resource.
Jeff, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
UnitedWay.sem.org is the website for more information on the Connect for Care Kids program, as well as other programs and resources available through the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. We'll take a break on the Megacast. On the other side, we'll continue to talk about access to critical resources and assistance for families right here in the state of Michigan. Coming up next, we'll be joined by the Development Community Specialist at Starfish Family Services. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Let's whoop it up for these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the cheering going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine. I'm feeling good.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe, welcoming you back to our live, local, 5 days a week TV, radio, and streaming show about all things Michigan. Today we'll be joined by Rebecca Gillespie. She is the Development Community Specialist at Starfish Family Services as families continue to struggle through difficult economic times, and of course, times of the year that are always financially taxing, including back to school. Rebecca, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So first off, give us some background information. Tell us a little bit about the services provided by Starfish Family Services.
Starfish began our work in 1963 in Inkster, Michigan. We're a profit human service agency. Our mission is to strengthen families to create brighter futures for children. We serve over 3,000 children and their families annually, and operate 13 early childhood education centers and 3 behavioral health outpatient clinics in Detroit and Western Wayne County.
And so as we are navigating these times that we're in, the economic times being so uncertain, and certainly also yearly or annual difficulties that come along with the back to school time of the year, how much more critical do your services then become, and who typically at this time of the year are you most commonly assisting with their necessities?
All of the families that attend our centers and participate in our behavioral health services are able to receive services based on their economic status. So for those 3,000 children that we serve, we especially are cognizant and aware of the need for help and assistance. And we do that not only through the Head Start program that we have our early childhood centers operating under, but we also do that internally we've been doing drives that assist families with crucial items of need.
We're joined by Rebecca Gillespie, Development Community Specialist at Starfish Family Services, joining us on the Megacast. You can find more information on Starfish Family Services by visiting starfishfamilyservices.org. That's starfishfamilyservices.org, or give them a call at 734-728-3400, 734-728-3400, and visit their headquarters in Inkster, Michigan at 30,000 Hively in Inkster. Well, again, starfishfamilyservices.org is their website. For those that may be in need of some of these services, how do they get in contact with you? How do they go about tapping into some of these services and filling some of these needs that they're struggling with at this time?
Yeah, if you're someone that's either maybe you're looking for childhood help, you aren't able to afford preschool or maybe even child care, we can help you with that. The best way to get a hold of us is to connect with us online and visit our website at starfishfamilyservices.org/services. And then a family is able to determine which area is a best fit for them. You can also begin your enrollment online with us. And we also have a toll-free number you can use. It's 844-849-5433, and get connected with some help and information.
We're joined by Rebecca Gillespie from Starfish Family Services on the Megacast. More information can be found on starfishfamilyservices.org, starfishfamilyservices.org for more info, including all the services they provide, ways you can get involved and enroll with Starfish Family Services as well. And Rebecca, at this time of the year, with the families that you do serve, how much does this time of the year, the back to school time of the year, further affect those issues that are present throughout the year and that you're assisting them with throughout the year? How does back to school change that situation and maybe make those difficulties a little bit more difficult?
Maybe if a family hasn't experienced a need in a certain area, they're not aware of how expensive it is to afford school supplies when you're heading back to school. I have small children, and to outfit them to go to school. It's not like it was when I was a child and the school provided most of our supplies. Now what happens today is the parent is supplying most of the supplies into the school. So you can spend upwards of $50 to $100 per child to provide supplies into the classroom. So that's a real need for families at Starfish. And we would really love some support in that area. We do a back to school drive every year. And we have great community partners that help us do that, but we're always looking for more. So if you are interested in helping and supporting a family and helping a child have the necessary supplies to return to school, we'd love to hear from you.
And just take a quick step back, Rebecca. Give us some insight into which families or what kind of families are qualifying for these services and for enrollment with Starfish Family Services to assist with some of these necessities throughout the year, and especially now as we're getting ready to send our kids back to school.
Yeah, our programs and services actually are very focused on serving a family. So we work with small children, and we also, in our behavioral health services area, also serve children up to 21 years of age. So our early childhood focuses on and uses the Head Start model in our preschool centers. And our behavioral health also wants to support the well-being of the whole family. And we believe through comprehensive and a holistic approach for the health and wellness of children, youth, and families, that we're able to help that best support them, not only with the items that they might need to return to school, but also who on the inside, and to help them emotionally and with that type of support through our services.
Yeah, not only are there, we've talked so much about the more financial side of things and those assistances, but you also mentioned, as you just said, the behavioral health services that are available through your organization are pretty extensive as well. Can you talk about some of those services and how those help families in these sort of situations as well?
Yeah, at Starfish, we have a program that we utilize. It's our blueprint for brighter futures. And that approach is focused on helping families thrive. So that through three components, which are healthy families, successful students, and empowerment. And so, as I mentioned before, we focus on health, both your body and your mind. We also believe in equipping children to be school ready. We offer high quality early childhood education, and along with addressing any behavioral health needs that maybe a family is experiencing. And we also actively partner with families to identify and help them achieve goals that they set for themselves. And we believe everyone at Starfish has a voice, and we want families to feel supported and engaged in the work that we do.
We're joined by Rebecca Gillespie. She is the Development Community Specialist at Starfish Family Services, joining us on the Megacast. You can find more information on Starfish Family Services by visiting their website at starfishfamilyservices.org, starfishfamilyservices.org online, or you can call them 734-728-3400. That's 734-728-3400. You can also email them at starfish@sfish.org. Starfish@sfish.org is their email address. So by phone, by email, by web, there are many different ways to get in contact with the friendly people at Starfish Family Services. And Rebecca, I understand from my notes, our producer, the king of television, as we call him, Larry Nyland, has let me know that you have an exciting anniversary coming up next year. Can you tell us about that anniversary and how your organization plans to celebrate it?
Yeah, so our anniversary is next year, and that's our diamond anniversary, the 60th. For 60 years, we've been serving families, and we plan to host a lot of celebrations around that. And if you want to learn more about what's coming up in the coming year, please go online again to our website, starfishfamilyservices.org, and under the heading Get Involved, you'll see the 60th anniversary is listed. You can also subscribe to our newsletter, which is at the bottom of the page, or look for us and connect with us on social media. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and learn all about what we're going to be doing in the next year to celebrate 60 years helping families.
We're joined by Rebecca Gillespie from Starfish Family Services on the Megacast. More information can be found on their website, starfishfamilyservices.org. Starfishfamilyservices.org. And Rebecca, beyond the services that people are able to tap into and sort of bridge some of those financial gaps or provide for behavioral health and mental health services that may be necessary for themselves or others in their family, you also have some volunteer opportunities too if people want to get involved and help some of these families. Can you tell us about some of those volunteer opportunities and how people can get involved with Starfish Family Services?
Oh yeah, this is something that's really exciting to me. So we would love for you to join us. If you decide to support Starfish, first from me, I would like to thank you for choosing us. And when you support us, you are helping a family in our community. When you support, when I really believe this in the work that I do, and when you support another person, then we're able to build a stronger future for everyone. So some ways that you can donate and get involved is host a drive. So we have 4 different drives that we do every year, and it provides items to families in need. You can join our volunteer program. We're soft starting this in the fall, and we'll be welcoming back volunteers after 2 long years of COVID. So we'd love for you to join us and come on board and maybe serve outside, where definitely we found that that's a safe place to be and keeps our kiddos safe that are in program. Also, you can donate online through our web portal, or you can even find us on Share Detroit's website at sharedetroit.org.
Yes, one of over 300 charities and nonprofits supported on the Share Detroit platform is Starfish Family Services. You can also find them at starfishfamilyservices.org. If you scroll over there, get involved at Starfish link. Right at the top of that link, there is another one too, volunteer opportunities where you can fill out their form and get involved. That's at starfishfamilyservices.org. You can also call and inquire about these volunteer opportunities at 734-728-3400, 734-728-3400. Rebecca, before we let you go, anything else that our community should know about your organization at this time, or other helpful information they should keep an eye out for?
You know, I really wanted to say, without donors supporting Starfish, we couldn't continue our work uplifting families and children. So I want to thank everyone out there that's listening today, and I genuinely thank you for considering us and adding us to your giving list and deciding to support our organization. We are so grateful. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Michigan Megacast and Share Detroit, for allowing us to come here today and talk live about what we do. We're really proud of the work that we do in all the surrounding communities here in Michigan. Our partnerships mean the world to us, and I really want to acknowledge your support and care. So thank you for inviting me.
And thanks for being on with us. Appreciate it, Rebecca. StarfishFamilyServices.org is their website. You can also visit them and over 300 other charities and nonprofits on ShareDetroit.org. That will do it for this Tuesday edition of the Megacast. Again, I'm just so surprised how quickly that 1 hour goes by. We used to be a 2-hour program. Now we're a 1-hour program. You can find us Monday through Friday right here on Civic Center TV, on My Michigan TV, and on other community television and radio stations all throughout the Great Lakes State. Find more information on where you can find us live to tape, and on demand on civiccentertv.com/megacast. You can also find us on My Michigan TV's website at mymytv.com, mymytv.com. Learn more information about all of MyMy's original programming and imported programming from all across the Great Lakes State, and download their free apps for your smartphones and your smart TVs. And join us every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until 11 o'clock for the Megacast. That is it for today's show. Big thank you to all those guests that joined us today, as well as our crew, Calvin Brown, Jared Clark at Master Control, and the King of Television, Larry Nyland, our producer. We will return later on this week. We'll return with more episodes each and every day. In the meantime, stay tuned with us on civiccentertv.com/megacast. That does it for today. We'll be back soon with a new edition of the Megacast.
This is My Michigan TV, a unique new streaming television network. To watch, simply add our app to your smartphone or smart TV. You can also watch online at mymytv.com. My Michigan TV. My.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the cheering going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine.